Shalom. First and foremost, before we begin, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash.
Double honors unto the elder apostles of the great millstone, who taught us this truth. And much love, greetings, and salutation to all the fellow laborers across the globe doing this work in truth and sincerity of the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect. All right, we out here another week here in Babylon the Great, in particular here in the city, Las Vegas. We're out here to preach this word, to push the truth out. We out here for the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true chosen people of the Lord, the 12 tribes of Israel, are those that are allotted to be gathered by the word of the Heavenly Father. All right, and the Lord is calling for our people to come back to repent. Because right now, the earth is in gross darkness, so therefore you got iniquity increasing. All right, now our people don't have a care in the world as to why they should fear the Heavenly Father. They're just going about just doing what the hell they want to do. They're following after their own heart, their own philosophy,
own imagination,
their own imagination. It's like they created God within their own mind to follow instead of following the God of the Bible. And give me Romans 10 and 1 through is that 2, 3? And now you ain't got no excuse to be in your ignorance, because the Lord got men set up, to bring you the actual truth, to lead you in the right way of how to follow and worship the Most High. Right. Through his son Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right? Because you're the only people that's destined to be saved. But there's only going to be a remnant of you that's going to return back to him. So that's what we out here for, man. Give me that in Romans 10.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High power of Israel is that they might be saved.
Is that they might be saved. All right? Because, hey, I got news flash for you people out there, man. The children of Israel are the only people that's destined to be saved.
That's right.
All right? You other nations, you don't have any business within this gospel, right? It doesn't concern you. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a seal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge.
Yeah, man, our people have a natural zeal, meaning they fervent, for serving a higher power. For the most part, our people believe in their power. All right, but they're not following him according to the truth. All right, they worship him in ignorance. That's why the Lord said in John 8th chapter, now is the hour when the true worshiper shall come to worship the Father. The Heavenly Father is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship in the spirit and in truth.
That's right.
All right. The Lord set up men to teach you how to, follow the truth and how to worship him, man. All right. He set up pastors according to his heart. That shall feed you with knowledge and understanding, or knowledge and wisdom. But no, the scriptures already tell us how to serve the Heavenly Father, man. We have laws, statutes, commandments that he told us to keep. The fact that situation that we're in. You wonder why you stay in the hood, why you still in the ghetto, why you still in the barrios, why you still in the reservations, why you can't succeed, you can't prosper unless you sell your soul in this society. That's because the Lord got you in the curses, man. Right. Because you're refusing to come back to him. So you're thinking that the Lord is taking too long to come back and save you, but really the Lord's been waiting on your ass to get it right. The Lord got his men out there for you.
You say, what was you who desired the day of the Lord?
The Most High is very long suffering. Because the Lord has it to where everybody's gonna basically have the moment when they encounter this truth. The Lord, he's gonna make sure that every Israelite on the face of the earth just heard this word one way or another. Whether it be while you walking past a camp, or whether you have an internet access and you watch the video. All right, you're gonna be judged by that, man.
Or even a news article slandering the men of the Lord.
That too. These Christians, they try to get their little clout up by mentioning us. You might listen to them getting on us. That might have you go and watch what we're out here teaching. Either way, you're hearing the word now. in its truest context. Okay? Go ahead.
It's the book, exactly what the brother
And
was
we're
talking
going to go
about.
back to that.
It's Matthew 24, 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for the witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come.
That's how you know we at the end, because it's looking likely that the elect are already sealed. And so much is going on, things are happening, very speedily, that we could very well be in that time where, the elect have, been sealed, man. And then it said, then shall the end come. Give me Romans 10 and 18, and then, matter of fact, he's already in that same chapter. Jump down to 18 and then jump back up.
This is Romans chapter 10 and verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily. Their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
How was that possible? How was that able to be done? Through the internet. Everybody has access to the World Wide Web. That's how there's brothers in different countries around the world. They woke up to listening to the elder apostles, the different brothers in Babylon. That sparked their faith, and they went out there and they taught. So that's the thing. So the Lord's making it to where, hey, he's extending his hand through the service of the prophets. And we're vessels of the Most High's long suffering. Before he takes this place out, he got to give you warning first. And as he's giving you that time, to come back to him, he's sending little stuff here and there. He's sending plagues, pestilences to help show you that, hey, he's getting ready to jack this place up. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9. We'll start at the top. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that at the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Yeah. So we measure the times diligently by constantly being preoccupied in the prophecies. We look at the signs that the Lord said would happen, what to look out for that would indicate, that he's that day is nigh.
Those small signs are building our faith to pull people in and start believing more.
Son.
Because you get closer and closer, you see something, you see a tsunami hit or a certain earthquake or whatever, volcanoes erupting everywhere, and now you didn't see somebody have been saying it way back in whatever year, because the internet, the moment you upload it, it's timestamps when you upload it.
Yep.
The wars, the rumors of wars.
Yeah.
That's a big sign too.
You see here in Babylon, you're too distracted. There's way too much going on here. Too much comfort, too much entertainment, too much decadence. So of course you're not gonna pay attention to those things, But let the coronavirus, the way it's been building up over there in China, let it come over here and build in America. And watch how many jakes get serious all of a sudden. Watch when they start coming out to the camps and they start inquiring and asking questions. Because the Lord always said in their affliction, when they start catching hell, that's when they want to turn to the Lord. It's a secret. So it's really not enough cases here in America. Hold on.
It says, verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Yep.
For like
so these will be key signs right there. And we see that, for the past few years, we've been seeing that consecutively. Devastating earthquakes, 7.0s, 6.8, higher in the Richter scale.
Earthquakes that also cause the tsunamis.
Causing tsunamis. A lot of damage to businesses, homes. People being found dead in the rubble. A lot of death tolls increasing. A It's causing economic damage. Hey, a lot of these natural disasters that the Lord be sending to these nations, that fucks up their economy, man. It costs billions in repair, man. You got to pay to not only get it all cleaned up, but you also got to pay for it to be rebuilt. You got to pay for emergency services. So that costs, man. And also talked about uproar. So of course you're gonna have people that's, they're not pleased with their own government. So they take matters into their own hands. They figure out a way to, be vocal against the government. Whether they go out there and protest, whether they go out there and riot, or even if they, set together coalitions or militias or coups to try to overthrow that government.
What happened in January 2020? Right? In Virginia. All the militia, Unified militia groups got together because they didn't happy with how divided the House is. And it divided away from further or reestablishing, should we say, their rulership. We're watching the rulership slip through their fingers.
Yeah, they losing certain rights. I feel like they're losing, their Second Amendment right.
They got something called red laws now.
Yeah. Red flag laws.
Yeah.
I think Vespucci came here and stayed with the Seminoles. Just theory, but I haven't studied it.
Who?
Vespucci?
He did.
Amerigus
He did.
Vespucci.
Yeah, he did. That's how.
Yeah, I started looking it up, and
Yeah, that's how it was named after.
because they said the letters were a fraud, but the German guy put his name on this continent.
Right.
I think
They went to
South America might have had a
Hispaniola.
different name before.
Yeah, they went down to Hispaniola, the islands down there too, and that stuff was landed first.
So
They
you've
first
heard
landed
stories
on-
about it?
Absolutely.
Through like Underground Railroad or tribal legend?
But I think maybe
That's what I'm
tribal legends.
thinking. I wanted to try to research that way because
Yeah.
there's too much cloudiness in books. And
And why? But why? And answer this question: why?
my great-great-great-grandfather was Amerigus V. Clark. Parents weren't on the birth certificate. It could, Sacagawea may have had a daughter and they just quit writing about it. And Clark adopted that. My family, it goes back to 70 miles out of St. Louis, where Clark died in St. Louis in his mom's house, they said. But my family, I have an ancestor born about that time, Amerigus V. Clark, no parents. I'm thinking it's Sacagawea's kids had a kid. And because Clark adopted
Right.
the son, they say, but they never talked about the daughter. Well, I started looking into it more because somebody handed me genealogy stuff a couple years ago. I got this. They say Clark and Amerigus's Vespucci stories may have been mixed up. Well, my dad told me, okay, first I read there was a conspiracy, and they wrote a president a letter saying conspiracy about Lewis being killed. My dad said
the natives, they want to wipe them off the map. So when they started registering them in the census, they were
the
killing them.
second
also,
president
so they stopped
was
talking about
running
it.
Indian
That's why they
schools.
wouldn't- Exactly. That's why they wouldn't
And-
put them in the legislation.
Anyway,
and for you might want to know that information. That's why it is important.
Okay, say that again because I missed a couple words.
It's important that you know that information because if you're on this side, you have an opportunity for salvation. If you're not on this side, you don't even have a chance. That's what it says in the Bible. And those people that you just pointed out, if you're connected to that father line, you may have a chance. Because the records are all
Hope
modeled.
that your fathers don't go back to the men who enslaved
Right.
and slaughtered
So,
these people.
They said
Right.
somebody investigated it, wrote a letter to the president, second president or whoever, saying they think Lewis was killed, it wasn't suicide. They think it's a conspiracy. Well, my dad said Clark got bled out for pneumonia. Hence, about that time, Amerigus V. Clark was born. Maybe that's where they came up with the Columbia necktie slogan. Clark got bled out from pneumonia. He was off too, just like
Yeah.
Lewis, I think. Because that's coming through family history.
If you have
Straight from my dad's mouth.
Halfway there, find out your genealogy, because it matters.
Amerigus V.
As
Clark.
close as you can get it. But at the end of the day, let me say this, at the end of the day, what really matters is whether you gravitate to what this word is talking about. And what this word is talking about is that there's going to be martial law, there's going to be World War III, there's going to be famine of food, famine of
Some of the stuff they talk about in the future, I think may have already come to pass.
Like what?
There's a few soldiers that were blocking a mountain pass the biggest army in the world was trying to cut through.
Yep.
Maybe that was where the blood was up to the bridle.
No, that didn't come
That
out.
didn't happen
No,
yet.
that's not.
Yeah.
No.
That part didn't happen.
There, so
That part didn't happen. Anyways.
Jesus' temptation from Satan to eat with his fasting. I understand that story a little better too.
All right.
This city's probably could be built on a billion pounds of gold.
Okay, man.
If they unearth this, it'd be worth it.
All right, man. Esau got it. They got to answer.
Esau got it, but they always put their 2 cents in. You know.
You know what? When you grow up white, I know that, but when you grow up white, you feel like you're supposed to be in that position.
Oh yeah.
So, just like a Jake would do, he got to come up and prove himself. That's why it's hard to tell. But Esau came and pushed his madness on us if that was completely needed right.
Yeah.
But my point was, he's doing the research. I let him talk because he was doing the research. But at the end of the day, if you don't gravitate to his word, the research don't matter. It do matter for the kingdom of heaven, but getting salvation in this time, the day of the Lord, it don't matter. Okay? And if you're over here talking about you understand the genealogy that your family, like the brother said, you better hope that you was a part of the line and not the adopted line, you know, or the enslaving line, the one that enslaved the people that were adopted. Okay? Because the Lord is still angry at those things. Go off here, you know.
Oh, yeah. Remember where I was at?
We're talking reading Romans 10 and 18.
Okay.
Read that.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
It's Romans chapter 10 and verse 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, barely. Their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
Yeah, the word that made its rounds throughout the earth. Right?
And I was reading that.
When you're using second
Yeah, second verse 9. Yeah.
God, that's, we're dealing with the Lord.
Things have to happen.
Things are happening. The Lord is showing the signs, and as He's doing that, He's trying to call His people back to Him. But our people, even regardless of showing them all these major signs, Jake is not going to turn back.
So let me read this part. Verse 4, 7 verses 9 and 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things for the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Somebody give me the word manifest. What I believe it means, and we're going to see so I don't look like an idiot.
I think it means to be made clear.
Yeah, to where it all
But that's a spirit though, because year 2020, year of prophecy.
2020 vision.
Habakkuk 2 and 3.
2020.
It's manifest, the definition. It says clear or obvious to the eye or mind, to display or show a quality of feeling by one's act or appearance, to demonstrate, be evidence of, to prove, become apparent through the appearance of symptoms, to appear.
Becoming apparent.
Yeah. And 2020 is supposed to be perfect vision.
At the end,
That's why we're still in the beginning of the year, and so much is happening.
Yeah.
The Lord is manifesting, that we're coming into that time.
It says are readily perceived by the senses, and especially by the sense of sight. Easily understood or recognized by the mind.
Yeah, easy to understand. You can see plain. But I'm sorry, read that right quick. I don't know if you still got more, man. Read that in first Corinthians.
Start at 9.
Start at 9.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
That's when you don't see how everything's going to come to full fruition when how it shows up. Okay, because it's only going to look like it getting so bad, but when the Lord shows up, that's when people be like, ooh, it's exactly what the Bible was talking about. It's going to be made perfect. The whole scenario is going to be seen. Because people are going to be distracted by all the levels of destruction that's going on. Even when the missiles take off, when we see the chariots, we're not going to know until the Lord actually shows up. And that's when your faith is going to be proven in that moment. Okay, so everything has to build up to that moment. The whole moment is going to build it up to.
Verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
But that took the process. Experience, situations, trial and error, all those things took time. Just like all the things in the world. You don't just get to the end and skip the book.
It's
You miss all the meat that's in the book.
It's like you learn in school when you tell a story. Plot, setting, antagonist, protagonist, climax.
That's it, all of that.
Yeah.
And this is building up to the climax.
Yeah, gone.
Verse 12. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but
You
then
can't see the whole picture. You know, but the minute the Lord can see it, can see where it's going. Do we know perfectly what it is? Do we know exactly how it's gonna play out or exact things?
We just know it by what the scriptures say.
Exactly.
We only know by what the words say.
But when it actually happens into full fruition, that's when there's gonna be no doubt that it lines right up with the scriptures we're talking about. Go ahead.
for now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face.
But then, like with your own eyes. Go ahead.
Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known.
Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as I am also known. It's going to be of the truth. I know I'm alive and standing right here. It's going to be just that same way. Watching everything fall into place. So go back to your definition of it.
Right, and it's back manifest. It says to make evident or certain by showing or displaying.
By showing the display, it's going to be like right before your eyes.
God, the prophecies, man. Like you said, the prophecies coming to pass. And that's how we're judging the times that we're in. Some synonyms. It says to make clear cut, clear cut, evident, distinct.
And evident, what's the definition of faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But when it comes true, it'll be seen, it'll be manifest.
It's basically the confirmation of the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Confirmation.
the previous that it tells us was that 2 Ezra 15 where it says when he told Ezra to write
the vision.
the vision and make it
Plain on tables.
for they shall be faithful and true. Basically they're going to be shown to be evident when it comes to pass.
It'll be made clear.
It's going to be made clear, you know.
It says obvious, open and shut.
Hey, because a lot of
It's going to be made obvious.
a lot of people have doubts because they don't have any proof.
Yeah.
And they don't have faith to believe it without seeing it. You know?
They need tangible evidence.
You need tangible evidence. Exactly.
Straightforward, transparent, unmistakable.
Like that, in that day, they're gonna know who the Most High is.
Yeah.
He's the power that made the universe, and there ain't gonna be no mistake.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. And it's gonna scare the shit out of the people when he finally starts to really show his full hand. You know, like the Lord, he's starting to bring back the plagues, that he, used to use to scare the shit out of the heathen. The Lord said he's gonna bring about the plagues in Egypt again.
Yeah, come on, bro.
We ain't seen that yet.
Yeah.
we saw a little glimpse here in Vegas with the locusts. It's actually worse over there in Africa and in Pakistan right now.
30 miles
Yeah.
of locusts.
We thought we saw shit over here months ago. Yeah. They say it's a what they use the term according to biblical proportion.
Yeah.
You know? It's basically a biblical plague of locusts over there right now. Reminding them of what the Lord did to ancient Egypt. Saying the Lord is doing these things while the world is still not in fear. They're wondering like, damn, like what the hell is going on? But they still not considering that you don't see why the Lord is doing these things in the earth.
They don't see the world happening that they think it should.
Right.
And weirdo plagues and stuff happen. No, it's the wickedness that y'all
They want to play it off as weather phenomenon.
Right. Global warming,
Climate change, global warming.
In the ancient world, people knew because the known world was so close, intact, versus now where everything's spread out. Yeah. So in the ancient world, it was right there.
And I forget, I don't know what land was it that had suffered an earthquake, but it opened up the ground.
Turkey?
It might have been Turkey, but when it opened up the ground, it was like blood. It looked like it was blood coming up out the ground. I gotta find it, man. But this is recent. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of strange shit, supernatural things that's gonna occur, because that's the Lord basically making himself manifest among the people.
Yeah.
And the Lord using us out here to declare among the nations his glory.
Yeah.
That it's him. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is bringing these wonders.
He is.
You know?
And there won't be any scientific explanation. They're gonna be looking like shit. We don't know either, man.
Hey, who was it, man? It was a studies on how they keep finding these radio frequencies.
Oh yeah,
in the outer space.
Yeah.
And it's done under a certain sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And those scientists, those astrologers, they can't figure out how the hell they can't give a scientific explanation behind it. They're trying to research it and they coming up short. But you can't. Yeah, like every 16 minutes, it's growing forth a certain radio frequency. They're trying to figure out where the hell is this coming from.
Like far out where they never even thought about research. Like they can't even get that far.
Yeah.
Like galaxies away.
Yeah. And that's the Lord basically. He's testing out Esau's wise men, and his wise men are falling short. And that's part of their wise men perishing. Is the wisdom out of Teman perished? Your astrologers should be able to figure that out.
Yeah, bro, it was Turkey.
It was
Turkey, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 6.8 magnitude earthquake that made a blood-like liquid seem to bleed through the ground as the earthquake tore apart the ground.
So the earth bled from that earthquake. So we're gonna be seeing all type of strange occurrences.
Verse 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs.
Yeah.
So these earthquakes, upwards of people, some things we name, all right, and also that blood-like substance, the plagues of Egypt, the chariots in the sky. What's the other one I was thinking of?
The moons?
The moons. The eclipses, polar vortexes and things like that. That's how we know. Super wolf.
Blood moons.
Yep. All of those. Okay, those are the signs that he talked about will be coming in the end. And those signs are coming forth. Those prophecies, we're seeing them happen. That was it.
I was just somebody get Surah 36. Start up. Surah 36, yeah.
The book of Sirach, chapter 36, and verse 1. Have mercy upon us, O Lord, power above, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee.
Have mercy on us, send your wrath, your fury upon those that don't know you, that don't fear you. You know, because right now the world is not in. They don't have the proper fear. That's why they don't have a problem with being homosexuals, lesbians. They don't give a damn about committing adultery. You know, they don't care about if their children grow up and if their child want to change their gender, they can go ahead and do that. You're supposed to be supportive of your children no matter what. That's the mindset of this current world, man. It's totally mad.
Was that the game that came back and was like, people are hard in the streets and shit? Talking about, until you think about it, where that's your child. You love your child. And in the ancient world, they didn't deal with that, man. They put that kid to death. Something's wrong. He got demons on him.
You love the child or you love the Most High?
Right.
Which one? To put away, what you gonna do?
And really, that means that you don't care. You don't care for your child.
Yeah.
If you willing to support your child in anything that they do,
You don't love them.
you don't love them, man.
You're not wise.
Yeah.
Because when they do things that aren't wise, you will stop them.
Hey, the scriptures,
Back from the wise.
the scripture tell you that fools despise wisdom. You know, because that's why, like the brothers were saying, man. That's why I say rebuke before all, so that others may fear, man. Because in the time, in the ancient world, if a case like that appeared, what happened? That judgment would go down in front of everybody, man.
Yeah.
To let everybody know, hey, this is off, man, according to the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know, that the scriptures say it, they work it the way which is unseemly, man.
So that's why the Lord, he's gonna do his thing, man. You know, and we're only coming into the beginning of sorrows. The more you people behave yourself, very radically and wickedly, and very boldly and proudly, the more the Lord's gonna open up, man, with his judgment. See more and more plagues, more devastation, man. It's gonna get constantly worse and worse. Hey, the Lord's gonna match the spirit of your people, man. The level of wickedness that you people are doing, the level of judgment the Lord's gonna bring as well. He's gonna match your level of wickedness with judgment.
Yeah.
Well, Esau, basically destroying the planet and doing what he's doing. That's why all these natural disasters are happening. That's the earth basically responding to what Esau is doing. The animals are sick and tired of it. Right?
Like if you drill in the earth like Esau does with the oil, eventually the earth is going to react.
Take the gold out of the earth, that's gonna react. You take the oil out, like we said. You mess up the water. You displace animals, certain plants.
Cut down the trees.
Cutting down trees, burning.
Keep
All this
destroying the
is
ecosystem.
This thing is gonna have to react to that. Because it's just like the body naturally wants to heal itself, the earth naturally wants to heal itself. You know? I got some.
Go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra 15. Let me see. I'll start up at 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Meaning they're going to happen, they're going to be seen clearly, right? It says, fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Are they dead now? They don't look like they prosper. They're going to look like they don't look like they're going to that's what they're taking out of power. Right? It says, behold, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yep.
So all of that has to come to full fruition. The highest level that the Most High will accept. I won't say accept, will endure until he has to do it. So you have to look at it.
Yeah, and that goes to show you when the Lord has to make a law like this, where he's constantly just wiping people out, that's because you moved the Most High to that thing. Right? The Lord is very long suffering, man. Like he said, think it's a Habakkuk or Nahum, where it says that the Lord is great in power. Somebody find me. Because the Lord, He'll let you, build your wickedness up. He ain't gonna automatically just act upon you. The Lord doesn't do things immediate like we do. He doesn't react like we do. Our patience isn't on the same level of the Most High.
He's not impulsive like we are.
Yeah.
He don't make moves with you.
That shows you how the level of power that he has and intelligence. He doesn't forget anything. The fact that the Lord remembers what happened thousands of years ago, that he's still going to judge Esau for.
Yeah.
So all the wickedness that, the world has been partaking in for all this time, hell, even going all the way back to the time of Adam. The Lord had to clear this earth out before, and the earth, the Lord preserved, his Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and they was able to procreate, and they was able to bring back the population of the earth. But it seemed like, what did that do? The earth went back to its wickedness, And as time went on, as time progressed, it got worse and worse. So what do you think the Lord, the fact that all these things has happened throughout all these millenniums, and then here we're here in the Babylon the Great, where wickedness is at its height. It's at its highest that it's ever been in the history of the planet. That takes a lot of patience to have to deal with that, man. He's sitting in the heavens, like, but he's a man that he's a God that he should not lie. He's bound by his word. It's for the sake of prophecy as to why he didn't just just clear everything out, years ago. That's why we're still here. That's why Esau's still in power.
That's why he didn't wipe us out when we came out of Egypt. Remember with the.
Yeah, he was ready to take us out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
The Lord still have, mercy on us, man.
So look what he did in the flood. He was pissed at everybody. He said he repented that he had made man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That meant that there was a lot of evil going on back then.
See what I set this up for.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read this. Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold.
And what are some of these things that our people are exercising themselves in? Murder, theft, adultery, idolatry, homosexuality, witchcraft, bestiality,
Idol worship.
pedophilia, extortion. All right, coming up with all type of schemes to extort, the poor, man.
In the name of God.
Yeah.
And stuff, all of those things in the name of God.
And Israel oppressed Israel more than anybody else. When you see how we are against each other, man, our people, how they are against each other, man, they oppress themselves more than anybody else. And nations don't even have to do nothing, man. You niggas have been trained to oppress each other.
And systemic at this point.
Yeah.
The other
When you niggas make it, what happened? You niggas make it, when Esau allowed some of you niggas to make it, what did he train you niggas to do? He trained you to look down upon your other people, and basically he'll make you a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And you get to decide who you want to pull up there with you, or who you want to permit.
Not everybody can go.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be a part. Other nations and whole nations have been doing some level of it. Not ours.
They don't look out for each other, man.
It's a rare few.
They don't look out for each other, man.
It says, behold, the innocent and righteous.
Hey, but Salaki, this isn't just for our people. The whole world is practicing these things, man.
Right.
The whole world is in continual sin,
Including our people.
including our people, man.
2/3 especially.
You know, and they're really conversing with the heathen, especially with Esau. Our people figure in order for us to get ahead, we gotta, you know, we gotta envy him and do what he said. You know.
It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, said the Lord Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Because that's another thing. Throughout the different generations, the servants, the prophets, they were all being slain and put to death by Israel. So the Lord also going to require that as well. All right, that pisses the Most High off, because the prophets, that's his mouthpiece.
I sent them out there to provide a service for you. That's why I call them public services now.
Yeah.
They're out there to help you, let you know something. They're speaking for me, and you kill them because you don't like the message.
Luke 11:47. Woe unto you, for ye build the sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Truly ye bear witness that ye allowed the
Because why they do that? Why do our people do that? Because they don't want the prophecies to come true. And usually the prophets are prophesying of what things? Evil, war, pestilence, you know, famines, plagues, things that our people don't want to have to deal with. Even in captivity, look what the message was saying. Hey, we got to go through these plagues and all these tribulations and evils, but guess what? At the end of it, we get out of captivity. Our people rather stay in captivity than go through these things.
Even when we bring out the good news, that they are the Israelites, that they qualify for salvation, they still don't believe. You know? They don't believe either way. They don't believe the good news. They don't believe, and they sure as hell don't want to believe the bad news.
Right. They would act like the bad news not going to happen if they don't believe it.
Go ahead.
Truly ye bear witness that ye allow the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them, and ye built their sepulchres. Therefore also said the wisdom of Yahweh, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, that the blood of all the prophets, which was shed from the foundation of the world, may be required of this generation.
And that same generation is going to be made manifest in this time. They're already being made manifest. And some of them even come in the name of Yahweh Shai. Those niggas, they killed the prophets, man. The ones that come against us, that scoff against us, or they slander us, they call us all type of pedophiles and rapists. Hey, you might as well put us to death. If you really feel that we're these things, you might as well come kill us. Because that's a heavy thing to label someone.
Because when
People that has that title, they're known to get put to death or tortured or hurt, badly hurt.
Because when Esau rolling us, they're not gonna stand up for us.
No.
They're not gonna have nothing to do with us. So they, like you say, they might as well should kill us, and
You know, they do online votes. How do you think Trump's presidency is going?
Get
Mark,
1 Thessalonians 2.
click yes for
And I'll start at
good.
14.
Click no for bad, man. Right? Well, they're going to do a census with our people, and they're going to deny us. Just like they deny Yahweh Shah. And said free Barabbas. Or Barabbas, a lot of them pronounce. That got it.
Go to
1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14. For ye brethren became followers of the churches of the Most High, which is in Judea, or in Yahweh Shai, for ye also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews, who both killed the Lord Yahweh Shai and their own prophets, and have persecuted us. And they please not Yahweh, and are contrary to all men, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles.
Forbidding them to speak, you know. They was catching a hard time preaching the gospel to the Israelite foreigners. You know, to the point that, you know, they would lie on them. They would try to beat them, get them locked up, put in prison. You know, Apostle Paul himself, he got stoned to death. And the Lord had to bring him back so he could continue the ministry. You know, these emotional ass 2/3 niggas, man. You see how emotional they get. When you get so emotional, you tend to use violence as a means to rationalize. You know,
Emotions.
yeah. You know, the most emotional people are very violent, man. So our people, when they heard the truth, they got emotional because it cut to the soul. So they want to, you know, put hands on the apostles and disciples. They want to the point they want to kill them. We had men making pacts about, hey, we ain't gonna eat or drink until we kill this nigga. You know, we gonna actually make a straight vow. We gonna make an oath that we not gonna eat or drink until we get Apostle Paul's head. That type of spirit is still here.
Yeah, it's coming back in a major way.
You know? Niggas want us dead, man. Go ahead, man.
Forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved, to fill up their sins always, for the wrath is come upon them to the uttermost.
It said to fill up their sins too. So for so long, you've been just killing the prophets. Every time the prophets came, you know, in their life, you know, you put hands on them, you mistreated them, or you put them to death. So that fulfillment is also going to be within the anger of the Lord, of him getting vengeance, killing the 2/3 of our people. Yeah. And also what you did to Yahweh Shai, man, when you gave him up. Okay, so that's part of the exercises being fulfilled that you read in 2nd Ezra 15. All your hurtful works have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
Hey, that's across the board, man. The 2/3 of our people that reject the prophets, that reject Yahweh Shai, and also with the abominations that the people are doing.
Niggas that said that we have no king but Caesar. Yeah. Same thing today. We not Israelites, we American.
Yeah.
So, 2nd Chronicles, chapter 36, and verse 15. And the Lord power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up bedtimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy.
So the Lord allowed it to happen until you got him to his last straw. You know? Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's at his last straw with you. The 2/3 of our people, even the guys that know that they're Israelites, the Lord's ready to start killing them. He said judgment shall begin at his house, at his sanctuary. That's men that know that they're Israel. You got niggas that come on the comment board and talk shit about the elder apostles and different brothers. You go on their page, there's not one video.
Old pages with videos 4 years ago.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
You just might just see a fucking playlist, you know, with some Lil Wayne or some shit there. You know? They ain't got no works to show for it, but they on the comment board talking shit.
They subscribe to all these other camps, and they're just hopping from belief to thought, you know?
And them niggas ain't even preaching. They just coming against whatever our apostles say.
Yeah. Playing that opposition, but you know, they're fulfilling their role, you know? They're part of that generation that the Lord is preserving. Okay? So when the Lord pulls out his wrath, you niggas gonna get caught up in it, man. You know?
Proverbs 1 and 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye learn love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
So, how? The Lord is going to pour his spirit upon all flesh. And that your sons and daughters may prophesy. They shall have dreams and visions. You know? You got different brothers and even sisters that have these dreams of the so-called apocalypse. You know, they have dreams, you know, terrible visions of seeing people get mowed down in the streets with tanks. You know, buildings being on fire, people running. All right, zombies walking all through the streets, plagues wiping people out, entire cities. You know, that's the Lord giving you warning, man. He's giving you the preview before he actually brings it to pass, man. So that's how the Lord is trying to, you know, lend you his hand, so to speak.
Literally.
Go ahead.
So because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
Hey, how is the Lord calling? He's calling through us. And the men that are the Lord set up across the four corners of the earth. We're calling out. That's what we set up here in the camp. That's a church. Which means what? To call out. And we see our people walk by every week, you know, and are they regarded? No. You know, they walk right past and act like we ain't even up here. They don't even. You don't think this is strange?
What is this about?
Or they know what this is about, but like Yahweh Shai said, they will not come into the light lest their deeds should be revealed. They know that once they stop, they got to get put on the spot. You know. Now you got a responsibility, but they don't want to come into it. Man. They want to stay in darkness because that's more comfortable for them. You know.
It says, but ye have set it not on my counsel, and with none of my reproof. Yep. And I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind.
Now you know the Most High is cracking up at Moab right now.
Yeah.
He's dragging Moab up right now. You know, they over there devastated, man. They're in total misery. Their economy is taking a hit right now, and I wouldn't want to be a group right now. You're looked at as niggas now. Like right now, you're being treated as such. Nobody wants to go into your stores, your restaurants. Ain't nobody finna buy that stir-fried shit. Yeah. You know, people are more aware and alert, you know, when they encounter you.
Yeah. You know? Just like they look at Jake when Jake come in the store. Moab would always have their eye on Jake. What's that shit? Minister Society, hurry up and buy his shit.
Yeah.
Now you the ones.
So, and the Most High, he's abused them. You know the Most High don't care about that. That's the Lord that's plaguing them, according to the prophecy. But hey, watch when it comes here to America and all these niggas here, these proud ass Negroes and Hispanics here in America, watch when adversity hits them. The Lord gonna laugh at them too. Because they had a chance to actually come back and repent, man. You know, hey, repentance was open up to you, but you despised it. You loathed it, man. So the same must know it after death by pain. Go ahead,
It says, then shall they call upon me. Wait, let me read up. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, Yahweh.
Yeah. The Lord's his attitude is, well, you know, I tried to, you know, extend my hand to you. I have my men out there telling you, they were trying to show you right. But you know, you didn't take it serious. You belittled it. You You didn't take. You didn't care. You know, you laughed at them. You mistreated them. You thought you were better than them. You thought you were smarter than them. Now, knowing those men had to wake, they was trying to show you. So now you on your own now. You know, when you getting thrown in head first into a concentration camp, or your daughter or your son, all right, he's hit with a plague, a virus, you know, that you can't cure. All right, you watching them die in your arms. You know,
You gotta leave them.
you gotta abandon them, or you gotta let them take them.
Before the whole family get infected.
You're gonna be crying to the Lord. You're gonna be trying to send up prayers. The Lord ain't gonna hear you, man. No, call to Jesus Christ. Call unto Guadalupe. You know, call unto Allah. You black unconscious niggas, hey, what happened to your God, the black woman? Why is she plagued? Why is your God plagued right now?
Right.
She should be able to cure herself. You know?
It says, they were none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Yeah. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from the fear of evil.
Yeah, your prosperity is going to destroy you, because just like it says in Luke, the Lord said, you know, as in the time of Noah, they were eating and drinking and giving it to marriage. They were basically living in prosperity. They were in mirth, peace. You know, you got a lot of our people. They make a certain a living, and it's basically above poverty. Our people are very fucking proud, man. They're very proud and very comfortable, just because they're able to live above the poverty line.
And they look down at Jake.
And they look down at Jake that's struggling. So that's gonna that prosperity is gonna destroy you. You know? That prosperity is gonna get you destroyed. It also tells you that riches profit not a day of wrath. Your money is not gonna secure you from this devastation, man.
This is Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 25. God, I'll start at verse 24. Verse 24. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear, but walk in the counsels and in the imagination.
Yeah, their own devices. You know, they went after their own plots and plans. They didn't want to seek after their own path. You even have the attitude of our people when they realized, when they were sacrificing the Queen of Heaven and Tammuz, they were saying that, hey, basically since we've been doing this, we've been all right. We've been eating and drinking and, you know, having festivals and banquets. You know, we've been eating good. You know, we are alliance with the other nations. But then what happened? The Lord raised up Nebuchadnezzar and his army and jacked their ass up, and they got carted off into captivity, man.
Yeah.
After they saw what just happened to the northern kingdom.
Yeah. And see, that's what you get for following after your own imagination, man. Not seeking counsel from the Heavenly Father. You know, you want to worship, you know, lifeless deities, man. It's not even a deity, it's just a thing made with man's hands, man. It's just material. You worship that.
But they hearken not, nor incline their ear, to walk in the counsels and in the imagination of counsels of Salakia, and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily, rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers.
Y'all did worse than the niggas that I have to kill in the wilderness. Still got that stubborn, stiff-necked, rebellious attitude, man. It's like y'all niggas love going into captivity, man.
Niggas love going to jail.
Yeah. I'ma just keep fucking up so I can go right back to the pit. Yeah.
Throw away the key.
Throw away the key.
Yeah.
Jake feel important in jail. They do.
Hey, but that's Israel. Spiritually, that's how Israel is, man. Instead of worshiping the Most High and doing what they're supposed to do so they can live a prosperous life without having to deal with oppression, their enemies taking them down, them not having shit. You can live freely in prosperity serving your creator, man. But no, I want to worship this idol over here. You know what I'm saying? If be cool with these nations and commit adultery and do all this wickedness, knowing damn well the Lord's gonna fuck you up every time. That's why Jeremiah cuts you out and said, "Hey, is Israel is he a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled, man?"
Well, you always fucked up. I always got a bad situation going on.
Yeah.
Because we seek after the evil. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. The way the wicked is seducing.
Yeah, I got 2 more verses.
Verse 27, therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to thee. But thou shalt also talk unto them, but they will not answer. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their power, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth.
That's why the Lord has that controversy with you, man. Because there's no knowledge of the Heavenly Father amongst you. Truth perishes amongst our people, because all they want to hear is lies. Anything that tickles their spirit, that sounds good to them, that's the only thing they're gonna go with. They don't really hear motivational speeches from Dr. Umar Johnson. In the truth. They rather hear go-go language. The nigga that been scamming you for millions, taking your money, lying to you.
Willie D podcast.
Yeah, you wanna listen to Willie D and shit.
Nigga perspective on life.
Yeah.
The old nigga perspective.
How to get rich quick scams. Jake will click on that real quick.
T.I. is your spokesman. What do you call himself? Rubber Band Man?
Yeah.
Rubber Band Man, now that's your leader now. That's a damn shame, man. That nigga is damn sure not gonna lead you in the right path, man. But hey, showing you this is what the Most High had to deal with for all these centuries, man. And it's like the Lord has been long suffering with us all this time. And it tells us in Ezekiel, he don't want to have to kill you off like that. Matter of fact, get that. Go to somebody, give me Ezekiel 18. You said you had something. Give me Ezekiel 18 real quick. And read like the last 2 verses. It is the reason why the Lord, sends his men. I don't want to have to kill you. But if you don't listen to me through the men that I sent to warn you, I will kill you. The Most High is very merciful. He's very long-suffering, man. That's why we've been out here. Our elder apostles, they've been out here for decades. All these years, and Jake's still out here just acting a fool.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction,
You wonder why you over here in America hurting, you know? Tired of being pulled over, tired of paying taxes, tired of your boss, you know, getting over on you, not paying you when he's supposed to.
Tired of having a boss.
Just tired as hell, man. Well, hey, that's
It literally is sick and tired.
yeah. Well, hey, you tired? Hey, the Most High tired too. Look at it
Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 30. Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel, everyone according to his ways, saith the Lord power.
Go ahead.
Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin.
So that iniquity be not your ruin. You know, because if you don't, hey, you're going to die in your sins, man. Which ultimately, the Lord already has it. Only the remnant is going to return. They're the ones that's going to come to full repentance. And they're going to be spared in the day of judgment. The rest of our people, they're going to carry on with their madness, man. They're going to continue to paint their sons' nails and take them to get the surgery done.
Paint their nails.
Dress them up in female clothing. You know, Sade, her daughter done turned into a dude. She got a beard. Her beard thicker than my shit. Come on, man.
God damn.
It's man. The Lord got to take Jake out their vision. Go ahead.
Verse 31. Cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby ye have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit. For why will ye die, O house of Israel?
Man, why you want to die, man? You know, the Lord made that covenant with us in the beginning. You know, going back to Deuteronomy 30, choose ye this day. Matter of fact, with them. Hey, even though the scriptures speaks against free will, but really, you do have a choice. You know, you do have have the choice to make a conscious decision on whether you're going to do good or you're going to do evil. You know. I think it's like around 19. Deuteronomy 30 and 19.
Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death.
I have set before you life and death.
Blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
Read that part again.
Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
Hey, so he's telling you, hey, choose life. I'd rather that you live. If you can keep these commandments, you'll be able to live. You'll live a prosperous life. You'll live in peace, man. You'll have the respect of the nations. Your land will be able to flourish. You know, the land flowing with milk and honey. So you'll have all the resources available for you to live plenteous. You know, you'll have cattle, you'll have servants. As long as you just stick with the instructions that I gave you. But Israel got the Most High figured out all of a sudden. And now they're more wiser than their own creator. You know? They find the laws of the Most High grievous now. You can't put the pork down? You can't put the cigarette out? You gotta have your shrimp, huh? You gotta have what your neighbor got, huh? That's why you ain't prospering. That's why you're dying. It tells us, what's that, Jeremiah 8? And death shall be chosen rather than life. Hey, our people choose death just by their lifestyle. The niggas like Lil Boosie. Here it is, nigga. You got diabetes. You just had
Cancer.
Was that kidney? I think you had a kidney cancer or something,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And here it is, you flicking off the Most High because you can't eat pork.
What else are we supposed to eat? Man, all types of food to go to eat still.
The Lord gave us a dietary menu on what we can eat and what we can't. Come.
Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern, to choose, between the unclean and the clean.
Yep.
And in controversy, they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgments. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes and all my assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbath. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves, nor for father, or for mother, or for son, or for daughter, brother, or for sister that hath no husband, that they may defile themselves.
So the Lord, he wants us back in order, man. But as of now, the majority of our people, they're not gonna come under that order, man. That's why the Lord is only setting up a remnant, an elect, which is gonna be the governing body that's actually gonna be the government over Israel and the kingdom. You see? That's what's gonna happen, man. It's 2/3 of our own people, then it's not gonna work out, man. Because they refuse to turn back and come up under the order. They refuse that, man. What's up? Right. Hey, that's the word of Sister AB. Hey, Lord, bless her, man.
Yeah.
Probably watching, man. Yeah. Hey, call Lord Yahweh outside, man.
Yeah,
Sister be blessed with
she
that.
just told me she watches her family.
Huh? Hey, that's beautiful, man. Hey, our people, because you're gonna have, parts of our people. Not everybody's gonna necessarily be out here on the highways and byways, but they're gonna definitely be, supporting the ministry. That's gonna be that great multitude, the men, women, and children. The men and women that actually did believe, that supported the ministry.
Yeah.
2/3 of our people, man. That's why the Lord's gonna take them out, man. I don't know who. Go ahead.
It's the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter, and it's starting at the top. It says, "I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts."
After their own thoughts, meaning what? Their own heart.
A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face.
Constantly, every day, man.
That sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves and larger monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things in their vessels.
Yeah, man, just
Completely reprobate.
making themselves abominable to the Lord, man. Here it is, you defiling your temple, but you expect the Lord to cleanse that abomination on your plate that you're trying to pray over.
You gotta cleanse yourself before the Most High can cleanse you.
And then it doesn't say, "Oh, the Lord knows my heart." And like try to use that as a quote or a cover for that.
They like to misspeak for the Most High. So whatever voice is going on in their head to justify whatever it is that they believe, they think it's the Most High. No, that's not the Lord. That's just demons that are on you to make you think that's cool. Because if it doesn't line up with what the scriptures say, then that's how you know that's of your own heart.
It says, "But say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou." Which is what they say, right? These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom. Yep.
Meaning what? He's going to judge you. When the Lord said, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord, he was ultimately referring to his own people. Because you can read about that in the beginning when you go back to Deuteronomy, I believe it's the 32nd chapter. You go to Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, he said that he would judge this people. And that's that wicked, untoward generation that is of no faith. Now, hey, the generation that was always rejecting and rebelling against the Lord, they always was coming back. And they same lot, man, doing the same things. Yeah, the anti-Messiah, anti-Mosai spirit. You know? So when the Lord comes back for him, he gonna judge him. We can't, hey, as much as we would like to judge for the Mosai and get that spiritual power so we can start clearing niggas out, we still gotta wait for the Lord to do everything, man.
There's a lot of people that still repent.
Because you still gonna have some of our people that's gonna wake up when they see the power being manifested. It says in Psalms 110, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, man. That's when they're gonna really want to change up.
It's 7:65-7. For iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith the Lord, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom.
Yeah, he's gonna require it at you niggas' hands.
That's
Their former works.
That's all it says in their reincarnation.
Huh?
That supposed to get about 15 minutes.
And that's the legacy that you leave behind. Your wicked works will show forth, man. Even in your generations. That's why going back to Exodus, was that 34, where it says that he will by no means clear the guilty, visiting their fathers, the iniquity of their fathers upon the third or fourth generation of them that hate me. Because you're that generation that keeps coming back, and you're fulfilling your lot, man. You know?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. That's another one.
Exodus 34:7, Exodus 25. There's a few of them.
There's Exodus 34:7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression.
Showing you how merciful the Messiah is, man. You know? He's very merciful.
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth generation.
Yeah, because you come back every 3 or 4 generations through your children. All right? If you come back and you get paid back according to what you did in your past life. So if you killed the prophets, you're part of the generation that killed the prophets. And every time you come back, that's what your lot is going to be. Until the final judgment.
It's Acts 7:51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Spirit as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers.
Yeah. Betrayers and murderers.
This is Second Ezra chapter 9, start with verse 18. So that now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in the now, in that now live, no man spake against me. For when everyone obeyed, but now for then everyone obeyed, But now the manners of them which are created in this world is made, are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and it kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people.
And if the Lord would have never done that, the Most High would do another cleansing, which really He's going to do it. He is going to do it. But if He didn't have an elect that He wants to save, He would basically just do away with humanity. He would clear out the whole humankind. The Lord could, man, the Lord could just leave the paradise to the animals. Because the animals seem to be more in order than the people, man.
Yeah.
It don't feel like that too.
You know? But because of, the love that He had for His people, and for His word's sake, He set aside a remnant, He got 7,000 men that will not bow the knee to the image of Baal.
Wow.
He's in, you was in 2nd Esdras, bro?
Yes.
2nd Esdras 7. Jump to the last few verses of 7.
2nd Esdras chapter.
That's why it says in, was that 2nd Esdras 9? Let the multitude perish that was born in vain, and let the grape of my cluster
That's
be
what I
kept.
was just reading right now.
Huh.
In the 9th chapter, right?
Oh, that was what you was reading.
Yeah.
Read that and then jump to 2nd Esdras 7, like the last few verses.
But I'm gonna read back up to 19. 2nd Esdras 9 and 19. For then everyone obeyed, but now the manners or the ethics or wicked versus righteousness, right? Of them which are created, this world is made, are corrupted by a perpetual seed. Our people are corrupted by a perpetual seed. It says they rid, and by a law which is unsearchable, they rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were to come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly.
Because with corrupted seed, going back to the time of the garden when Eve was beguiled by the serpent, and she basically took what she took in from the serpent and started to share that with Adam. And from that point on, we learned wickedness. And because of that, because we've been exposed to wickedness, what was the penalty for that? What was the price for learning that? We have to die.
Right?
Go ahead,
Yeah, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 6.
That's Eve right there,
chapter
man.
4.
That's why she's
That's
bugged
why they call us
Go ahead,
Verse,
evil spirits, Go ahead, bro.
Sacrifice food.
This is why the Lord has to cleanse the earth, man, especially Babylon.
Okay.
He gotta get rid of the filth here, man. Anywhere there's uncleanness, there's evil spirits maneuvering through.
I'm gonna start up at 26. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou hast marveled, for the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. That's what everybody's into, man. They better choose that, right?
Yeah.
Versus the righteousness.
It's full of infirmities because look at the activity of the people. Their diet, they don't want to respect the Lord's dietary menu, dietary laws. They don't want to have any moral, they don't want to follow the moral compass that He set in the earth. They want to go after their own lust. The women bouncing from dude to dude. Men having homosexual relations on the low and then passing the diseases to their women. It's all type of just wickedness, man. So that's why the earth is messed up right now, man. The earth is out of course. There's a lot of infirmity in the earth. Good, huh?
So for this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities.
Yep.
But as concerning the things whereof thou asked me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come to that is sown with good. For the grain of evil seed has been sown from the heart of Adam from the beginning.
So all that wickedness that's been piling up from that moment to this very time.
Daniel, evil exceeded that which how did it go?
Oh, it's in 2nd Ezra 5. Wickedness, wickedness shall be increased. That's 2nd Ezra 5 and 1.
I got it right quick. Nevertheless, 2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which is now, which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago.
There you go. So that's why, every day you're gonna find something that's gonna vex the hell out of you if you got the right spirit on you. From the shit that our people are doing. You go on World Star and you see the trifling shit that our people are doing, just a total embarrassment. It's really a disgrace. It's a shame the way you see our people behave in this society. They fight over the dumbest shit. They're very petty with each other. You can't trust one another, man. There's no respect. You got the children that are disrespectful to their elders. Children putting hands on their own parents, man. It's just, we could go down the list, man. So that's part of that evil, corrupted seed that's sown in their minds, man. You got our women with that feminist mindset. They think that men is put on the earth to serve them, when it's the opposite. It's like everything is all messed up, man. But the Lord got all this happening all at once, because not only is it to show how long-suffering, how much of a patient a father he is, but also is to show us the difference between good and evil. And this is something that we're supposed to be learning from. Kind of, let's not deviate too far off. Because I think I also called for, I think you was in 2nd Ezra 9. You read 5 and then you was reading 4. And then I was going to have you go back to that in 9. And then I did call for 2nd Ezra 7 as well. And for somebody, one of y'all get it. One of y'all can go to 2nd Ezra 7, but going back to the you read already in 4? 4,
yeah, I read 4.
It talks about the day of worship. Get to that part.
I didn't get that part yet.
Yeah, read further down.
The end of 29 said, then cannot it come that which is sown with the good. For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it bring forth yet, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come?
Yeah, how much more wickedness until the final day of the Lord, when he comes back and he does his thing. He comes back with that sickle for the harvest. He separate the sheep from the goats, the tares from the wheats. That's what that's getting into.
Real quick, because the last time that this happened, the Most High, you saw the scenario how it went, how wicked the people of the earth was at that time, in the first death. So the second death, yeah, the second death is going to be like the floods of Noah.
It's going to be worse.
Because the wickedness has grown to that level. This is what he said, Genesis chapter 6 and 5. It says, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Yep.
And that's where we're back. We're back to that now.
It's even worse.
It's even worse now.
If you're not in this in the truth, you have wickedness lingering in your spirit.
Malice.
You got an evil eye, man. Most of our people, they're seeking prosperity. They're seeking to be rich, and he that hasteth to be rich in this world, they have an evil eye, man. The love of money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. That's why they're willing to sell their souls so easily. You know, our people are willing to. Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union, what they do with their son, that's a sacrifice to Satan, man. It's to prevent from actually killing them. It's basically the alternative to killing them. You don't want to kill them? Well, give them over to Baphomet. Yeah. You know, give them over to Satan, and we'll take that as an offering.
And you know it's an offering to Satan because they putting it for the whole world to see. Yeah. Social media, all of that.
They're going to use that energy to help push the energy of that world.
So that's why you're seeing that happen, man. But our people, they do that because they desperately want to be rich and famous. You know, this is their way of trying to pull out of the curse. But all you do is you still curse yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
the worst curse.
And you don't get all that shit that you sold out for. You don't get to enjoy it. You got to keep working for it. And then you just die. and then the proceeds go right back to the slave masters that own you.
Family is inherited.
Huh. You know? Go back over.
Well, let me go back to verse chapter 4, verse 31. Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of the evil seed hath brought forth.
Yep.
And when the ears shall be cut down, which are now without number, how great a floor shall they fill?
That's a lot of wickedness, man.
Yeah.
We're talking. I mean, not only is what Esau did to Jacob.
Yeah.
I mean, we talking millenniums of shit that this man had done against Israel. You know? Hey, our babies getting lynched. That didn't just happen here in America.
In the ancient world, Egypt.
That happened in Egypt. They was getting tossed to alligators. During the time of the Roman Empire, we was getting cut off.
Herod.
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever was being caught circumcising their sons, their babies their infants was getting lynched.
They got hung, like they wrapped they wrapped the rope around their neck or whatever.
And they were killing the mothers that were being caught doing it. How many times the devil desecrated the Lord's temple, sacrificed unto idols in our temple, took the goodly, precious riches out of the temple. You know? Committed all type of idolatry, festivities going on in our temple. Commit abominations, man, having temple harlots in our temple, having orgies.
They sacrificing swine.
Sacrificing swine's flesh on the altar. This man did a lot of great shit, man.
Yeah. That energy got to come back to him.
So if you pile all these different incarnations, all these generations, all these empires together, man, now you understand why the Lord's gonna totally just fuck this place up, man. You know? This is why Esau is gonna be basically obliterated. He's gonna be exterminated, man. He has to. He fulfilled his purpose, and his hurtful works are fulfilled. You know? So right now we're entering into the beginning of sorrows. Where this devil, and the Lord's gonna be kicking into him. plaguing his hey, you see how proud this devil is, but did he forget that he has a low birth rate? He has a declining birth rate.
You know what they're trying to do with Jake in Alabama? If you're over 50, you gotta if you got over 50 and you got 3 or more kids, you gotta get a vasectomy.
Yeah. He want to stop Israel from multiplying.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be outnumbered. But hey, we as the son of the seed, and the Lord said, there is no, what was that, Jeremiah? You know, if you can count the stars of heaven, if you could measure the sand of the sea,
I'll cast away.
He'll cast away all the seed of Israel. You know? So there ain't nothing you can do about that one, Esau. But hey, the Lord is going to use you to kill off a lot of Israelites, though. That, hey, to a certain extent, that depopulation thing, the Lord's gonna allow that to happen, just for the purpose of killing off a great multitude of our own people. Going back to that in 2nd Ezra 9.
One verse that I like to. Verse 33, it says, Then I answered and said, How and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? You know, these days are going to plague us, because if this is what's coming, the great slaughter of our people, yeah, the 2/3 gotta go. So back in the 2nd Ezra 9, read that verse again. Yeah, the 9th chapter.
He was like
back
9 and like 20.
I was going to go back to 22. Yeah, it said, Let the multitude perish, then which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
Yep. And the Lord, He made them perfect, just so that you wouldn't have to destroy right? He can always look back on Zion, which really the Israel, the Most High, the elect. That's the real. That's the monument of the real monument of the Most High, and that's Zion right there. All right. So when the Lord gets angry and fed up with our people, to prevent Himself from destroying all of the seed of Israel, He's going to think back and remember upon Zion. You know, because if He didn't set aside a remnant for Himself, He just wipe everything out, man. So go to 2nd Ezra.
We had a 7.
2nd Ezra 7. Start at 59.
2nd Ezra 7.
All the way down.
This is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose thee life that thou mayest live.
Going back to what you read earlier, Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Right? Go ahead.
60. Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him.
You don't believe the law or the prophets.
No, nor me which have spoken unto them, that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. I answered,
Hey, persuaded unto salvation. Persuaded.
What did
You're
it say?
gonna be, yeah.
For we persuade men.
yeah, through the fear of
We tell the Lord we persuade men. You
Yeah.
know, from 2 Corinthians 5th chapter.
Hey, and what are we out here doing? The Lord Yahushua told us, He said, go out there into the highways and hedges and compel them.
yeah, bid them to the marriage.
You know, that my house be filled. Compel means to basically persuade, to damn near force.
And what do we force them with? Well, the beginning of this is with fear, right?
Yep.
The beginning of wisdom is with fear. So persuade them with the fear, knowing the terror of the Lord. Because if you don't get right, these evils are going to happen unto you. Hey, you got a chance, even though you're not perfect, and I require you to be perfect. You have a chance because I kept the grape of the cluster.
And this is 61. That there should not be such heaviness in their destruction as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. I answered then and said, I know, Lord, that the Most High is called merciful, and that he has mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, and upon those also that turn to his law, and that he is patient and long-suffering, those that have sinned as his creatures, and that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give thee where it needed, and that he is of great mercy, for he multiplies more and more mercies to them that are present and that are past, and that also to them which are to come.
Even throughout the generations, you had certain of our people that kept going off, and then you always had the righteous that was doing the right thing. The Lord always, he always would spare us, you know, when he sent his men up, you know, to prophesy and you know, bring them back to righteousness. And the Lord set up, you know, certain righteous judge, righteous kings to bring Israel back in order. You know, like Hezekiah, when he became king, he got rid of all those altars and images. You know, man. All throughout the different generations, you had instances of that. You had the Maccabees brothers. The Lord rose up. They rededicated the temple. So the Lord always was merciful to us, man.
He always put the spirit on some of the men to clean things up, and to let the spirit of the prophets to go push out his message.
And that's included now, man. Because he has us on the highways and hedges telling Jake to get right, man. And that shows you his mercy. Because the Lord could just remove us now. We could not be on the corners right now, you know. It is a pestilence that's going around, you know. But the Lord is having mercy to still, for us to still be out here and to preach that word, man.
Luke chapter 1 verse, I'm gonna start at 69, point is at like 7. And hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which hath been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant.
Perform the mercy that was promised to our fathers. So they have to be in a good remnant to do that, of righteous, that will deserve the mercies that were promised to the fathers. The 1/3, the elect.
Yeah, it said the holy prophets was there since the world began. So it was the prophets. It was prophets in the garden.
Right.
You can chosen one.
It's on 65. And that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give where it needed, and that he is of great mercy, for he multiplies more and more mercies to them that are present and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein.
Read that part again.
For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein.
The world wouldn't be able to continue if the Lord didn't show the level of mercy that he showed. We'd all be wiped out.
Yep.
That's why the Lord, he has a boiling point. He has a certain measure of wickedness before he acts out his judgment upon the people, man. You know? That's what he's always been doing. The Lord have winked at he winked at your ignorance, man. When you was in your, you was Hellenized out, you was getting Greek brands on your freaking arm, shaving your beard off and eating swine, and all that BS, man. The Lord still, had the door open for him. Even in this time, man, before we came into the truth, we were Gentiles, man.
That's right.
It was mercy that we even woke up to this truth. We could be hella bugged out there, man. You look at Jake in the world, man, done.
Listen to their music.
Yeah.
You hear them listen to their music, you can tell they done.
We be pilled out. We bunch of pill heads.
Yeah.
You know, weed on our breath every second.
Jake did the military and shit.
Man, serving Esau in the military. No beard on his face. Falling in love with heathen women and shit.
Bald head.
Hell yeah. We through, man. The Lord have mercy on us. Hey, and really it's like the Lord showing mercy through it, showing mercy to Israel through having mercy on his elect. Because who gonna bring them back? Who gonna bring the tribes back? You know? Now the Lord showed mercy to Israel through his prophets. Because they were basically telling you, you don't want to die, do you? All right, we'll hearken unto the voice of the Lord then. You know? Hey, man. Was there more on that? Go ahead.
Is 67 or 68 select. And he pardoneth, for if he did not if he not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain living.
Woo! Read that again, bro.
Yeah.
And he pardoneth it. For if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities,
He didn't pardon the elect, basically. Go ahead.
If he didn't sow the goodness,
Yeah, within those.
which is what? The seed of the word. You know? That's what's being sown in the earth now. That's, you know, taking up that balance. Right now, wickedness it outweighs the righteous right now. But the Lord is starting to restore that balance by, you know, sowing that good within the elect right now, man. And that's why, you know, that Israel's returning back to him through the word now. Go ahead.
that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain living.
Man. It will be no flesh left to be saved.
Right.
Everybody, if the Lord, if there was no elect, and we all followed Esau his way, we're done.
Well, we all come short of the glory.
Come on. You know?
Yeah, because Esau, he wants to wipe out 7 billion people. So, you know, that's 7 billion people, he wants to wipe out Israel, man. That's in that number.
So Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lord always had care for his elect, man. And that's why he preserved them. You know? Hey, when you go back to the time of even before Noah, like when Enoch was on the scene, you had the sons of God, which he was a part of the line of the sons of God. The sons of God, man, they were intermingling with the trees of the garden.
Yeah.
You know, they was associating themselves with the other nations, just like our people today. You know, you every once in a while, like you go out, you know, you'll see a crowd of heathens, and you'll see a Jake, you know, in that same crowd.
Yeah.
You'll see 1 or 2 simple ass niggas or nigga women, you know, walking around with a bunch of Edomite and Moabite women.
Yeah.
And they finna go and turn up and, you know, go snort some coke and you know, have their little girls' night out, get all wild and shit, buck wild, see what guy that they can sleep with, you know? That's our people, man. You know, who was just reading? Read that one more time.
And he pardoneth, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be eased of them, the 10,000th part of man should not remain living.
Yeah, man.
And being judged,
That's why the Lord had to separate. He had to separate and make that grape of the cluster. Right? Because they were the only ones that would represent righteousness in the earth. And their righteousness isn't even of themselves. It's of Yahweh Shai, man.
God.
You know? So when you get into how the wickedness is exceedingly polluting the whole earth, that's the works of the heathen along with the 2/3 of our people. Okay? And the Lord is waiting for a certain measure to be fulfilled before he just comes and just do his thing, man. When he comes back with the chariots, it says that, you know, was it Isaiah 66 and 15, he coming with chariots as a whirlwind, with fire, rebuking flames of fire. You know, that he says that what? He's gonna, the slain of the Lord shall be many, from one end of the earth even unto the other. Get Joel 3 and 13 real quick. Joel 3 and 13. Oh shit, I forgot. Was that in Genesis 15 when the Lord had Abraham? He saw the land and he basically told him after that vision that, hey, this land is going to belong to your seed, but I'm not going to give it to you yet because the abomination, the iniquity of the Amorites have to be fulfilled, you know. 13.
You want that? You want me to hold that?
Yeah, you hold that. Yeah, hold that.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come.
And that's talking about the day of the threshing. We read that in 2 Ezra 4. Until the day of threshing comes. That's when all the evil, that evil seed of grain that's sown in the earth, that's when it's going to be uprooted and burnt up. Okay? That's talking about the day of the Lord. The day that shall burn as an oven. All right? Wherein the heavens being on fire shall melt with fervent heat. The works that are therein shall be burnt up. That's talking about the same thing.
Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow.
Hey, the press is full. You know? It's ready to be pressed.
You ain't gotta still pop in more wickedness in there. It's ready.
Yeah. Your hurtful works are fulfilled. You didn't work it up to that level. So now the Lord just got to come back and just totally just annihilate people. Man. That's why it says in Revelation, was that Revelation 1 and 7? Every eye shall see him and shall wail because of him.
Yeah.
Why is the earth going to be whirling? Because he's coming back to plead with all flesh.
yeah. He said even them that pierced him.
Even they that pierced him, man. You know, he's coming back to, hey, I came not to send peace on the earth, but a sword.
Let me hit these two right quick. We called them earlier, Isaiah 66.
You ain't got to do
It's like, yeah, the very sight of the angels when they come, man, it's going to be very terrible.
Yeah.
People going to be having heart attacks
Oh, yeah.
just by the sight of the angels. And the Lord coming back.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine it's broad day, and then it just turns dark. You know, you look outside your window, and you look up, and there's nothing but just chariots just sitting over you.
And that's the only light that.
And that's it.
Yeah, because Samson's mother, when she seen the angel, she said his countenance is very terrible. I think that was Samson's mother.
Go back to that.
The 9th chapter?
Yeah, Joel 3.
Joel 3:13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
In other words, our sins are being remembered with the Heavenly Father. For your sins have reached unto heaven, and they're remembered with the Heavenly Father. All right, you stockpiled so much wickedness, now it's time for me to come and finally judge. Okay, and he's gonna give everybody that was wicked to the sword, man. All these proud ass bitches, I'm gonna call them that. All these proud bitches, you gonna be met with the sword too. All right, you're gonna have the women of the Lord that were preserved, that believe they're gonna be spared and saved. The bitches, you all gonna be wiped out, man.
Yep.
All you Lizzos of the world, Megan the Stallions of the world,
Get the nigga woman side.
You know, City Girls,
Cardi B,
Beyonce,
Oprah's.
the Oprahs,
Gayle King,
winches. You know, you just had a winch walk past not too long ago. They proud as shit too, man. You ain't gonna make it, man. You're not. Okay. You ain't gonna make it, man. Only the sisters that return, they're gonna get spared. All right. That's gonna be given to the flames, man.
That's good.
And then all you heathen women, hey, you so-called white women, man, y'all, you Edomite, you Beckys, you know, you Caitlins, you've been the most sheltered, you've been the most pedestalized, you've been the most exalted, the most protected, the most conniving, the most evil. A lot of our women, they learn a lot of their wicked ways from your ass, man. So not one of you is gonna make it, man. You an Edomite, you're the devil. And of course, your male counterparts, they gonna, hey, man, it's gonna go all across the board, man. Okay? All the wickedness that come from our people as well as the heathen, it's all part of that press. It's all part of the fats that overflow. So when the Lord comes back and he turns this place into an oblation, the smoke is going to be like when you burn fat, the smoke, the aroma from that smoke goes up. Well, when the Lord comes back and press that wine press in his fury, it's basically like a big sacrifice that's going to appease the Heavenly Father of his wrath. You know, it's gonna please the Heavenly Father when the Lord finally does it, man. You know, it's gonna be total satisfaction when the Lord judges this place.
Yep.
All right, that's when everything is gonna be complete.
Like Yahweh Shai say, it is finished.
It's finished, man.
Finished.
But right now, everything is continuing as it is because it has a certain level that has to be built up. You know? Well, I guess so. Hey, that means what? More child sacrifice, more sexual trafficking, child trafficking. You know? More murder, more witchcraft, more sellouts. More Esau creating more of his technology, his artificial intelligence, where he think that he's going to be able to be on the level of the Most High, he's going to be able to combat the Most High. All these things have to happen. It all has to take place. Esau making it to where men can have periods. They're trying to get it to where men can have children now. All these things, man.
The Most High got his decrees wrong with how you want to be created.
All left hand.
All left hand, man. Hey, more swelling words have to be said. you had these. A brother posted a photo. You had these two this Edomite couple. One had a shirt that said, "The Bible is a false idol," and then the other person had a shirt that said, "The Bible is the mark of the beast." It's like, you can't even be surprised at that. You can't even, it's like they supposed to do that. The Most High's allowing them to do shit like this, man. Them telling the Most High to apologize for what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah.
You're letting America go on.
You just the Most High is letting it happen. Hey, why you think Lot? He was so vexed. It was like, man, like I gotta live amongst this shit.
Yeah.
He was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. He was just like, man, I'm ready to get the hell up out of here, man. And then once it got to that certain level of wickedness, that's when the Lord sent the angels down. Like, hey, now is the day that I'm finna rain fire and brimstone. I'm tired of smelling this shit.
And that's synonymous with these times because the Most High sent angels then. He's doing the same thing now.
God. Does it not say in 2 Peter that the Lord, basically that he would use them as an example for those that should live ungodly. What the Lord did to ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, hey, that's meant to be an everlasting memorial. That's a monument. That's to remember what the Lord did to them for their work, their wicked works. And America does not only what they do, but even more. Babylon is overboard with their wickedness. Yeah.
In 2 Peter 2:6, and spared not the whole world, but saved Noah the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with the overthrow, making them an example. Making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, and deliver just not next to the filthy conversation of the wicked.
He was spiritually agitated at because Sodom and Gomorrah was like a safe haven where you could just go over there and you can just, just like, when in Vegas, stays in Vegas, So what was going on in ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, you wanted to get into that. If that was your style, go to Sodom and Gomorrah and live like that. Just like San Francisco, just like
Hollywood,
just like Atlanta,
Tel Aviv,
big city.
Yeah.
So like all these lesbians and bull dykes and the Gayle Kings and stuff like that, they would be able to go and live safely in a city like that. Well, they ain't got to worry about a judgment being executed. They ain't got to worry about being stoned to death. But if they cross back over the Dead Sea on the other side of that water, and you was living like that, that was all what you had. It was so wicked that was it Abraham or was it Lot that was pleading for the people there? Was it Lot? He kept asking, like, you gonna destroy everybody? The Lord was like, well, if you can find 50 people, I'll repent of bringing judgment down. Matter of fact, find me 30. Matter of fact, find me 20. He went down on the numbers.
And Lot was thinking like, man, James and them, they wicked as hell too.
Lot's wife was an infidel.
Yeah.
Somebody he fucking sleeps in the bed at night, every night. Owns of his own household.
I got one right quick. This is Jude, verse 7. It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire, which is an example of what was going to happen here in Vegas, here in America. You know?
Hey, there's a
How
Lord.
don't get wiped out the same?
The Lord was, you know, he for the most part he was long suffering just for the sake of Lot.
Yeah.
You know, Abraham's nephew. You know, and then once he got Lot up out of here, he cleaned us off that place, man. Turned that shit into, you know, ash and sulfur. Left it a memorial ashtray for the rest of the generations, man. You know, so hey, that it still applies, man. So you see here in America, people are proud. You know, they don't have any fear. They don't think that the Lord's gonna ever come back anytime soon. You know, they're just walking on in great pride, man. They got the reprobate spirit. You know, it was at Ecclesiastes 8:11, because sins against the evil word is not executed speedily.
Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men are fully set to do evil.
That's why they continue to do what they do. But hey, they don't realize that the Lord is allowing you to do it. Because he's reserving you. He's reserving your ass, man. You know?
You gotta read that one, because the other line is what I was going to pull out of it, which is
You're still holding that in Genesis 2?
the second chapter?
No, Genesis 15.
Oh yeah.
I want to be able to bring that out too.
Ecclesiastes 8, to the point in verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it will be well with them that fear the Most High Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. Yeah, so though that evil seed is still got to get burnt up, and you know, the wickedness that they got to push out is coming to full fruition and manifestation. They got to get wiped off. But the good don't hit the regular cluster that he chose. They gonna fear, because he's gonna put the spirit on them to fear.
Yep.
You want me to go to Genesis?
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 15.
Start up like 2 verses just so we can get the context of it.
Yeah.
This is when Abraham received the vision from the angel. When he finally was passing through the land of Canaan, and the Lord had to tell him that this is going to be the land that I'm going to give to your seed and your seed after it. You know.
I'll start verse 8. It says,
the point is in verse 16.
I'll read fast. It says, and he said, Lord power Yahweh, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And about that city, right? Verse 7 said that, you know, it said, and he said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcass, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
He was getting vision of basically his seed being the Israelites. You know, later on they became the Israelites. They would end up in Egypt serving the Egyptians for 400 years. They were there for 430, but they served 400. All right. So he was basically telling them this was hundreds of years before, you know, Israel ended up down in Egypt. Go ahead.
It says, 14. And And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And how did he judge them? He put the 10 plagues, and who came up with the great substance? The Israelites came out with the substance when they spoiled the Egyptians. That goes right into the Pesach was coming up anyway, right? What's the word they said they did? They we say Yakma, but what they do? They spoiled the Egyptians.
Yeah.
On the way out,
They
right?
took their stuff.
The gold and silver.
See what you ain't gonna need this.
You know, hold on, man. I'm not give it back. You don't need that. It says, verse 15, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
Meaning you're gonna die, of course.
Yep. But in the 4th generation, they shall come hither again, and iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
Now that's the point.
Come hither again too.
So meaning you're gonna basically your seed's gonna come back to this land that I got you set before right now. This is the land that I'm gonna give to you as an inheritance. Your seed after you is gonna inherit that. When they come back, before they actually get to come back and get this land, these Canaanites, these Hamites, they're gonna be doing so much wickedness that I'm gonna finally allow your seed to go and basically take them out, so they can get possession of that land. So what was the iniquity of these Canaanites and what they were doing in the Holy Land before we actually came up in it? Read that verse again, and then somebody give me Wisdom of Solomon 12. Start like a
verse 16. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
So the iniquity is not full yet. So the Lord's it was so much wickedness that these Canaanites were doing that basically it disgusted him. He was like, man, I'm about to clear these little these dusty ass black ass Hamites, man, and just doing the most. And that land that they was inheriting, that was the land that he had prepared for us.
That was holy land.
That was the holy land. But you know what they was doing in that land? Brother's about to read it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 3. For it was thy will to destroy by thy hands, by the hands of our fathers, both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifice.
Most odious works of witchcraft. A lot of these practices of witchcraft that you see going today, it's actually borrowed concepts from the ancient Canaanites. They originated that witchcraft shit. All right, really the sons of Ham in general. The Egyptians, the Canaanites, the Babylonians, which were Cushites, all the motherfuckers, they were all witches, man, witches and warlocks. All right, and a lot of people borrowed from them. Right? Doing a lot of magic. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And also those merciless, murderous children.
So they were killing children. You know, there was putting their children through the fire. That's wicked as hell, man. All right. These were the things that they were doing that piled up to the Heavenly Father, and then once it was the perfect time, once they did all these things, it was right for the Lord to use his people to go and basically clear their ass out, man. It's the same way the Lord is going to deal with America. He's going to allow America to do the same shit that the brothers reading about what the Canaanites are doing. Esau's doing it here in America, along with the two-thirds of our people, man.
So why would he not wipe this place out too? That's the point. The wickedness of it seemingly polluted the whole earth. The hurtful works are being fulfilled. They're right at the top of the wickedness bucket, so to speak. Most I was just about tired of it.
There's more, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
And also those merciless, murderous children, and devourers of men's flesh.
Cannibalism. They were literally eating each other, man. So there was a high level wickedness going on in the Holy Land before we got to it. You know? There's a lot of people like, if you never read this account, the average person reading, going back to the law where the Lord basically told us to go and make no covenant with them, but slay, you know, their women, their children, you know, their cattle, make no covenant with them, you know. You got to understand the pretext to why the Lord gave that commandment.
I don't like them guys. They don't know the fuck up.
This is the shit, evil shit they was doing. And then the Lord gave us commandments and told us, don't do what these motherfuckers was doing. They would commit all type of incest. Leviticus 18 is literally about what them Canaanites were doing, they were known to do in the land. The Lord said, don't do these things, man. Bestiality, sleeping with animals. You know, this is what they were doing. So really, it was like they were them A's over there, man, in the land of Israel right now. They doing the same shit. You don't think the Mosai is gonna get rid of them rats over there, man? He gonna clear that out too. You got the biggest gay parade on the planet Earth up there, man.
That's an abomination. How wicked is that? We're doing that in the land. As an imposter.
Come on. Go ahead,
And devourers of men's flesh, and the feast of blood.
Drinking blood. That sounds like, hey, those are rituals.
Nothing new under the sun. What do those Edomites do now?
Yep.
And Hollywood and all those Bohemian Groves.
Yep. All your elected officials, your president, your secretaries, you know, all the higher ups, man. That's what they do. They sacrifice children, they molest them, drink blood, and basically have a party, man. And that's how they generate their power on the left-hand side. You know? Well, hey, that's what these ancient Canaanites were doing. They were doing it to some deity, some idol. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 6, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that kill with their own hands, souls destitute of help, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy college of God's children.
Yep. The Lord had us in mind when He designed the Holy Land. I have reserved of people that's gonna do what's right, you know, in my land. You know? They're gonna keep the land Sabbaths. They're gonna make sure, you know, everything is done in order. They're gonna be keeping my statutes and commandments. That other nations may see that, you know, this is a wise and understanding people. You know? Go ahead,
Verse 8, nevertheless, even thou sparest as man, and didst send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them by little and little.
Yep.
Not that thou wast unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts, or with one rough word, but executing thy judgments upon them little by little and little.
He was plaguing them little by little. You know? He was getting them little by little. He didn't just wipe them all out at once. You know, sometimes the Lord he'll do that too. You know? But see, hey, with America, see, he's doing things little by little to bring his place down, but on that final day, he's gonna do everything at once. From Maine to Cali, this whole shit is gonna get just wiped clean.
So 1 hour.
In 1 hour, and he gonna sweep it with the besom of destruction. All right? Because that's when the iniquity is finally gonna have an end, man. The Lord's gonna put an end to it. All this LGBT crap, the Lord's gonna put an end to it, man. All this feminist shit, the Lord's gonna put an end to it. Right? Everybody's one, we all one, we equal. The Lord's gonna put an end to that shit, man.
But executed their judgments upon them by little and little, thou gavest them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed.
More wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Their conscience is still a hot iron toward wickedness.
Verse 11.
For it was a cursed seed from the beginning, neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon for those things wherein they sinned.
This is all talking about the Canaanites, man. They were that cursed seed. In particular, it went because going back to the time when I think it was Ham that laughed at his father. He got drunk. He got super drunk to where he got naked. And Shem and Japheth, instead of looking on his nakedness, they took a blanket or a quilt and they walked backwards and put it on him. But Ham found that amusing. So because of that, the Lord was like, you know what, I'm gonna curse you. And that curse trickled down to Canaan, man.
The grandson or something like that?
Yep, his grandson. See? So it was already predestined for those Canaanites to get, messed up over there, man. The Lord was plaguing them, and then finally the Lord allowed for Joshua and the men up under him to go and take their ass out, man. He went to war with them. Got the victory over. There's a little more to last verse, verse 12.
Verse 12. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment?
Yeah, who shall say, what hast thou done? Like when the Lord destroys America, you gonna tell the Lord, what did you do?
Like you all started doing apology. That's the same type of thing. Like he ain't got it figured out.
Yeah.
Like his rules don't stand.
Right.
Right.
Like you get to decide.
Like that. So it's gonna be unrighteous when the Lord destroy this place, man.
Right.
But it's the same place that perpetuated all type of anti-Messiah ideologies. It promotes atheism.
There you go.
Most of the population don't even believe on the Messiah.
Wow.
Really not the real way. The scriptural depiction of it.
Yeah, man. Everything about this place is contrary to the ways of the Most High. It doesn't upkeep not one law in the scriptures. So when the Lord judged this place, is the Lord gonna be unrighteous for doing that? Hell no. That's gonna be it's gonna be such a righteous judgment to do, man.
Yeah, by the time they get to that point,
Yeah.
it's
gonna be righteous.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very appeasing to finally get rid of this place.
This is like the law where if you have a child and they're disobedient, they don't want to get right, they get to a point where you go to the elders and you say, we tried everything, stone this nigga. Same thing with America.
Exactly.
How bad it knows
Yeah, man. Was there a little more on that?
Verse 12. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment? Or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish, whom thou hast made? Or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged for the unrighteous man?
Yeah, so you gonna stand before the Lord, and you gonna stand in between the nations that get judged, and a judgment that the Lord got set against that nation, and you're gonna be judged just because you trying to stand up to it. You know,
No hands running hands.
you justify the wicked. Even they that do so are abomination unto the Lord. So if you stand with this place, you stand with America, hey, you're gonna end up like America, man. It's all desolate. You know? You got something?
It's Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from them.
Yep. That's in this society, man. Evil is looked at as good, and good is looked at as evil. All right? That's why you can't come out and openly say Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union should be put to death for what they're teaching their son. You got to be politically correct there. You can't say nothing
They gotta
righteous.
be politically correct too.
Yeah.
They gonna come down upon them.
Shit, Esau take their kids away if they
Yeah.
don't.
You saw how they did Pacquiao when he
God.
mentioned Leviticus 20:13?
Yeah, they took away his Nike contract.
Yeah.
So this world is totally ass backwards, man. That's why the Lord is gonna let off, man. Y'all let this brother.
Isaiah 24:4. You got more on that?
It says, therefore as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their roots shall be as rottenness, and their bosom, most likely in their blossom. Yet it's Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness.
Yeah, this world, man, this world is turned upside down, man. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father is not it's not being followed in this way. All right. So basically, he's making this world, put this world to an evil state to show his men what evil looks like, what wickedness looks like. So we can be gods knowing good and evil. Right. And so we can discern, become kings and priests, so we can discern, between good and evil in the kingdom. All right?
That put light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight.
Yeah, that's the majority of our people, man. They're wise in their own eyes. Can you give me Romans 10? Yeah. They're wise in their own eyes, man. All right, they go after what the philosophies of Esau and these other nations. All right, and Esau and these other nations, they're totally against, contrary to the Heavenly Father's word. Romans 10,
Okay, Romans 10:1. It says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High.
Because these other Esau and these other nations, they're gonna do what they do, man. All right, it's convincing our people that they're the enemy, man. All right, don't follow after them, man.
It says, is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge.
Yeah, our people say, oh, I believe there's a God, but they don't have the knowledge, man. And the wisdom and knowledge, you go to Deuteronomy 4, it's the Heavenly Father's laws, man. All right? It's like Brother Kawakazal was saying earlier about the dietary law, man. Our people can't even follow that, man. Our people don't even try to follow it.
Verse 3 says, for they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High.
That's right. You gotta submit yourselves. You got to submit yourselves to his word. All right, if you don't submit, he's going to destroy you. Proverbs 13:13. You got a question?
Yes. First of all, did they
Let them do it start.
Yeah, you can say yes.
Okay.
You say yes.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. Now I know in Jewish law, they shouldn't eat any unclean thing. And all fish that they eat should have scales.
Fins and
Now-
scales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But also, when Jesus Christ came, y'all believe in Jesus Christ?
The Messiah, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, what do you got another?
I'm asking you because I've been through a bunch of things. I've been through prison, this, that, and other. What I'm trying to understand is, are we under the law or are we under grace? And
Romans 3, 6.
Yeah, we got the scriptures to answer the question.
yes.
God, this is Romans 3 and 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid.
Because it says in James, show your works by my faith.
Right, but also it says, show yourself approved.
Right.
Study.
Yeah,
Now,
Study.
Yeah, how to practice the law.
really seeking Him and His righteousness. Okay, so it's like I'm going through some struggle with myself.
my man, can we finish the scripture?
Yeah.
Is Romans 3 and 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
The Israelites established the law. You know, Romans 6 and 1, Bible chart.
Romans 6 and 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
All right, grace. You know what the grace period is?
Grace is like time out. It's like to give you time to think,
To figure
to
it out.
understand.
Right.
Give you time to get yourself right.
Right. Okay.
So that's what a grace
so,
period is.
right. So now I understand, and grace, that well, the people explained to me was through His mercy and His sacrifice that we shall be forgiven. But, like they say, ignorance is no excuse.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So therefore, I've been looking at.
First of all, do you know you're an Israelite? Have you come to the knowledge that you're an Israelite?
No.
Well, that's the first steps in understanding this Bible. Because the law, statutes, commandments is our heritage. So first you got to acknowledge, oh yeah, I'm an Israelite, and the Lord gave me a law that I have to follow on the planet Earth.
So let me try to feel like I said this way. Like Judaism, right? Or Jewish law, whatever.
Right.
That's not naturally associated with so-called black people or Hispanic people, right? But if you start to put yourself into that and start to see yourself into that, then that's when you'll really see that we are the people that fit through. That's how you'll know that you are a so-called Jew or whichever the real identity of the people that's supposed to be.
Well, see, I've been raised Southern Baptist,
Right.
and I was
Most of us were.
yes, I was taught to respect
That's still on the way.
God as the Almighty. He said, "I'm the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end."
Right.
He said, "Nothing is created, without me." He says, "Worship nothing in heaven, nothing under the sea, or nothing on earth before me, because I'm a jealous God."
Yeah.
And I've been seeking Him diligently, but also I've been seeking my flesh. I've been trying to get out of my flesh, but I don't like to, how you say, last night we was watching a movie, American Assassin, and the guy was on the beach with me. The guys came and started killing everybody, right? And the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "They're Muslim," right? I was wrong to judge, but also, it's like, I've never known a religion to
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a judge, there's nothing wrong with it. We're going to get the scripture.
First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man.
That's right. There ain't nothing wrong with the judge, man.
Yeah, if I
Alright.
told you, you know what, that brother over there is smart. You're a nice person. He's tall. Those are judgments also, not just the bad that everybody wants to associate with. Okay? Because if you get an A on your report card or an average, both of those are judgments by who? The teacher. Right? So it's a righteous thing to judge, but he wants you to judge balance and judge wisely, according to the truth.
But that's right. And what I want to do is, I want to be a better person.
But how do you, so back to what you were saying about studying to show yourself approved.
Right.
What are you studying to show yourself approved of? If you know how to judge balanced judgment, righteous judgments.
Yeah.
That's the part that you're studying, that you should be studying. So you can say, you know what, I need to do this. It's the Sabbath. I figured out when the Sabbath is. I've judged in the calendars, or I judged in how it makes sense, and that's what I follow now.
Okay.
I judged how to keep the dietary laws.
So where y'all church?
This is church right here. The word church comes from the Greek word ecclesia, it means to call out. And assembly of Israelites.
So it's basically the same thing as, I was talking to a Muslim brother last night, and he told me, he said, the word Muslim is someone that submits himself to the will of God. You know, I've been all over the place. When I was in prison, I lost faith in humanity, I lost faith in my family, I lost faith in everything. I'm trying to get back there, and that's the thing.
Well, faith is given from the Heavenly Father. Once you have faith, you can't lose.
Well,
Ephesians 2 and 8.
Grace here saying faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High.
Right.
so believe it.
The Lord has to give you faith.
And if I may add, and with that faith, what do you do with it? You begin to do the works that prove your faith.
And grow.
That's how you grow from it. You study to show yourself approved by what? Studying what those works are that you need to be practicing, will then show your faith unto the Heavenly Father. That's what we're out here for.
Okay.
We're proving our
Well,
faith
thank you,
through these
brother.
works of being out here. But to the Heavenly Father, though.
Right.
You know?
Thank y'all. You have a nice day.
We're
All right, man,
out
take it
here every
easy.
Sunday, man. It's time, man.
I feel like it was something that just...
It's kind of a bunch of unanswered, you know,
He was seeking for something, but he just
Yeah.
He's seeking, but he's just like,
Damn, Jake.
I don't think it's...
Look at it. Got the cigarette from that guy right there. He got the,
I'm gonna let him know, too.
How y'all
That's what
doing?
it is right there.
That was wild.
Jake just gave him a cigarette.
Jake is lost, man.
Hey!
Let him go out. It's all good, bro. It's all
What's
good.
happened?
You smoking that cigarette, man?
That's why the Lord gonna destroy these niggas, man.
Yep.
You know? And he was imparted the good word, man. You know, he couldn't digest it, man.
He was sincere to a degree, but
He don't want to know,
yeah.
but he don't want to do.
Well, he got the answers, man, but he couldn't contain it. The word wouldn't dwell in his soul. What's that?
Isaiah, Wisdom Solomon 1 and 4.
See, hey, Romans 10, man. They have a zeal in the Most High, but not according to knowledge. And we gave, the Spirit of the Lord gave the knowledge to his prophets, and he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I'm seeking to find out answers. But guess what? I've been trying to study and show yourself approved. And you walk up here.
Yeah, I think he got offended because when he said, "Oh, I lost my faith," and I told him, "You can't lose faith.
Yeah, you haven't given it
If the Lord gives it to you, you can't lose it." Man. Yeah.
Real quick, going to what you said, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 3, it says, "For froward things separate from the Most High, And his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise.
Yeah.
For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter.
Malicious soul. All them demons on Jake's spirit, man. The Lord, man. You can't enter into that, man. First you gotta be. First the Lord gotta take the demons off. You know. Then you do according to His will, man. You know. You basically follow His laws, and therefore you start acquiring wisdom.
Look what it says. It says, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
There you go.
For the right.
You got that cigarette.
Couldn't wait to get about to find the cigarette, right? And it says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit.
Discipline will flee deceit, man.
Yep.
Being the disciple.
And remove from those that are without understanding and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. It's not going to hang out when things are righteous.
It's Hebrews 4:2. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Not being mixed with faith, yeah. It ain't that you lost your faith, you never had it.
Never had it.
Because a wise man will
You think it's my church, the person in the bus was an asshole. So I'm gonna listen to his church. Right here, okay? Why didn't I make this traffic?
Right. It's Revelation 18 at the top. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils.
All right, Babylon means confusion, man. All right, this place that you know as America is called Great Babylon according to the Bible, man. All right, a land filled with great confusion. Okay, you got the homosexuality, the LGBT, the feminism. All right, and even in the political world, you got confusion. All right. Confusion between a man and a woman. Okay.
gender confusion.
Yep. There's just confusion everywhere, man. All right.
You even got women suing the sports world because the transgenders taking over the tracks.
That's that's in Pennsylvania because these two niggas was running with the females and dusting
the hell out of them.
And in cycling too.
Right. So these women are like, man, we gotta sue now. We didn't sign up for this. You know, but hey, when Caitlyn Jenner, y'all thought it was cute then. Y'all was behind, y'all was backing that shit. Now y'all seeing that shit is backfiring on your ass.
Feminism, LGBT, it's all the same spirit of wickedness. It's all demonic. All right.
Let's continue too. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils.
How Babylon the Great is going to be fallen? The Lord is going to destroy it by these missiles. All right. I think Revelation 9 said 200 million missiles are going to destroy this place, man. All right, 200,000. And those missiles are going to be shot off from the other nations. All right, Russia, China, Iran, NATO, and EU. Okay? So these other nations, they're going to get pissed off at Great Babylon, AK America, and they're going to shoot missiles on them.
Revelation 9 and 14. It's like in Revelation 9 and 15. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
Yeah, third part of men is Esau, Edomites, man, the sons of the wicked.
And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000.
The army of the horsemen was 200,000. All right, that's talking about missiles, man. All right, it said and it goes more in detail about the missiles in Joel, man. All right.
And I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And
So if you look at the anatomy of a thermonuclear missile, it's describing the same vision that John the Revelator saw. All right.
And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
Fire, smoke, and brimstone, man. So you see the missile being flying in the air. You can see smoke and brimstone, propelling the missile. Go ahead.
By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths.
That's right. Once the missiles are shot off, you Edomites, you done. Your power is done. All right. You will contain no more power on Earth. Your management of the planet Earth will be cut off. All right. Once the missiles are shot off and hisses intended targets. All right.
For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads.
Their followers. Heads are warheads.
And with them they do hurt.
With them they do hurt. And it describes in Zechariah, what's that, 14 to 12? Can you get that book? It describes that when the missiles, when they detonate, when that fire hits your, your soul, your body, it describes, it basically it's gonna hurt. We're gonna get the scripture. Go ahead.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Yeah, so that fire is gonna consume away. All right, consume away your flesh from your body, man.
It says, while they stand upon their feet.
While they stand upon their feet.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Yeah, your eyes gonna consume away in your eye sockets.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Tongue's gonna consume away in your mouth. Shit, I ate some food. What's that? I ate some beef ribs a couple weeks ago, and that shit hot, man. Burned my tongue, my throat, shit. Fuck. That was
misfire.
That was hell, man. That was total pain. I felt that scorching heat for the past 5-6 days. Sucked.
Like Claude Banks. Probably was too hot.
Burn my damn tongue.
We're only talking about 300-400 degrees and shit. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah, them thermonuclear missiles, they got 1,000,000-degree heat, man.
Malachi chapter 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn us in the oven.
Oven, man. You know those ancient there's ancient ovens, back in the ancient world, man. Those ovens, man, they get very, very hot. Man.
Yeah, it's like when you melting down the minerals and elements, it's called like a kiln. I think KILN. And those reach to thousands of degrees. Man.
Like that oven they tried to throw. They put Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Furnace.
Yeah, we ain't talking about your average conventional oven. You just go up to 500. You can still put you're gonna be hot, but you can still put your hands in there.
Yeah.
This type of heat, you ain't sticking nothing in nothing. You just gonna melt.
Yeah.
Instant cremation, automatic cremation.
For behold, the day cometh that shall burn us in the oven, and all the proud Yes, and all that do wickedly.
All the proud and all that do wickedly, man. That's 99% of the people in America. You're proud and wicked, man. Alright? And you're gonna be a part of that second death, which is the thermonuclear missile destruction.
And all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Shall be stoked. You're gonna be turned into ashes, man. Alright? You're gonna be a part of, your body is gonna be a part of the earth, man. You know? You're gonna basically be vaporized, man. Alright?
Hey, stubble is basically like debris.
Yeah.
And debris, when you light trash up and debris up, it just burns up until it's completely dissolved.
Yeah, when you light a piece of paper up, the paper,
Yeah.
basically
Kind of like disintegrates.
disappear.
Yeah.
You know?
And if they coming, they shall burn them up. Saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Yeah, that's the judgment. That's the judgment on Great Babylon. For all the wickedness it portrayed in planet Earth, man. Alright? And 2/3 of the Israelites are going to be destroyed right along with this place. Alright?
This is 2 Peter
You guys want to play
chapter
it?
3 verse 10.
Somebody gave it to me. I was going to give it away down at the bus stop.
No, thank you, sir.
Sunglasses fell out of it.
No,
so I
thank you,
came
sir.
back to it.
We're good, man.
Second Peter chapter 3 verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
Comes as a thief in the night, man. It's going to come as a thief in the night to the people that's not awake, man. Alright?
He said, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's right. Everything is made up of elements on the periodic table. It's going to melt with fervent heat. And that heat is the thermonuclear missile, man. Alright, well,
It says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
all the wicked works going to be burnt up, man. You know?
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, use that word earlier, right? It says, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
What's your conduct supposed to be? Alright? Your conduct is supposed to be under the guidelines of the Heavenly Father, man. On his counsel, man. Alright? On what he written down, man. What he wrote down for you to follow. Alright?
It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens shall, being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Yep. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
New heavens and new earth, man. So the wickedness got to be destroyed first, then the righteousness is going to be set up under our Lord Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right,
All right, and the elect. Okay? Even still then, man, we still got to go all up around the planet Earth and basically put these other nations in slavery, you know, and jack up the rest of these Israelites that's not going to basically bow down. They got to be taken out too, rebels, man.
Got to restore order.
That's right.
It's Isaiah 31 and 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. And
That's right. America is also called Egypt, man. All right? Bondage, man.
And stay on horses and trust in chariots.
That's right. Majority of our people trust in Egypt, man. All right? They trust in Esau's military. They trust in his democracy. You know, this is the election year, man. You know? About the whole presidential shit, which you really look deep into it. That whole president, all that bullshit voting, that's all bullshit, man.
Correct.
You know?
Hey,
They just putting an illusion in your mind, think you got the power.
exactly.
Daniel, man, proof of that, Daniel 6.
I like how comedian George Carlin said, they'll give you an illusion of choice.
Right.
You know? How you get two candidates, but then 31 flavors of ice cream. Like the meaningless stuff, they give you choices. The things of meaning, they only give you 2 options.
And then your vote doesn't count anyways.
Right.
Because you know, presidents are won off of the majority vote. They're won off of electoral college vote. And that vote isn't in the hands of the people. But you people, you idiots are still voting.
Even electoral college, that's bullshit too. Daniel 6 and 1.
It's Daniel chapter 6 and verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes.
All right, Darius was the king of the Medes, right? Yeah.
Which shall be over the people, over the whole kingdom.
Yeah.
And over these 3 presidents.
3 presidents, man. So the king set up the presidents. Go ahead.
And over these 3 presidents, of whom
The king's whoever's in rulership at the time.
Sets up the
Which
president.
is Amalek on
Yeah, the elites.
Yeah.
beast. Right.
of whom Daniel was first.
So, hey, man, the king set up the 3 presidents, man. Right? So, we got to figure out who the kings of the planet Earth is today.
Hey, look, the Ayatollah over there in Iran, they're still practicing that. Ayatollah's like the king over there in Iran or wherever. And he sets up presidents over Iran.
Yeah.
Just using that as an example. But over in the Middle East, they're still kind of
Like Soleimani,
more
more than likely was some type of president.
Yeah, he was on some higher level.
Yeah.
It was military, but he was got into the
He was a commander.
right.
He was basically like Job was to Joab to King David.
Yeah, he was a man of position though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That still had his place
Yeah.
back then.
So the kings of this society is the elite bankers.
Yep.
The Rothschilds, the banking family, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys.
Bilderberg.
Yeah, those are the kings, man. Those are the rich elite banking families that sets up all these presidents, man. All right, the president of Russia, president of China. You know,
Yeah, the Romans had elections. There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same beast system coming back reincarnated. Man. It's that same 2-party, the dragon with the two horns that spoke as a
Oh yeah.
dragon. That's the same system, man.
and at least want to push forth their agenda. All right, which that coronavirus, that's a part of their agenda, man. To wipe out a certain number of the population. You know, and they put that order to the presidents. You know, to basically enforce it. You got the martial law and all of that. That's a part of the elite's agenda. All right, martial law, the RFID chip. All right, all these different draconian measures. All right, concentration camps, etc. Man.
Isaiah 31. So back in Isaiah 31 at the top, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many.
Yep. So Egypt, America, you know, it has a lot of power, man. You know, that's why it's called Great Babylon.
Established power, right? At its place.
Yep.
People just roll with it. I'm going to cut you off. Just want to come throw that on.
Because there are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look
We
not
have an established military, established monetary system. Life is set up a certain way with grocery stores. You go to realtors for somewhere to live. You know, you have all those different scenarios that are already figured out. How you get your how society moves here in America. And people like that, the stability of that. But it's set up with rooted in wickedness.
You got the retirement plans,
Yeah,
401k. People trusting that shit, man.
I know I read an article where they say 401. It's like you can tell that they're about to crash in society because 401 is like the most 401k millionaires like ever. So it's like all these people have their 401ks, but it don't mean shit because Fidelity, Prudential, they just bank just like fucking Bank of America. So they can go under just like any regular bank.
America ultimately got that military power, man, to enforce all their philosophies all across the earth, man. You know?
Because they are very strong, but they look not upon the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Yeah, and that's dealing with our people put their trust in the enemy instead of taking counsel from the Most High. And back then they were conspiring with the Pharaoh of Egypt to basically go to war with Nebuchadnezzar. And let's just say that was an epic failure because the Lord rose up the Babylonians at that time. So it was meant for the Babylonian Empire to flourish in whatever contemporary rulership that were in at that time. They were set to fall.
Okay.
You know, it talks about it was at Jeremiah 4:7, the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. The lion
The thicket, yeah.
I was talking about Nebuchadnezzar. So there was nothing that Jake could do at that time to try to offset that. They was going to try to align themselves with the Assyrians and with the Egyptians to try to fight them and try to take them down, but that was going to go against prophecy. The Lord made them more mightier to take down all those kingdoms. So that's why you're not supposed to put your trust in men. Make flesh your arm. You know?
Yep.
Your arm represents your power. So that was it.
It's Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt.
The broken reed is a measuring stick, but it's off. America's measuring stick of moral compass is off. The scriptures have the moral compass, but even though they said that this book is supposed to be black and white, nobody's following it. It's all confusion. You look at the Ten Commandments, not the Ten Commandments, the Bill of Rights, and it's all off compared to what the Heavenly Father talks about. The tenet of the Holy Bible are about.
President Bush said the Constitution ain't nothing but a piece of paper. You know? So he even downplayed this on the Constitution.
Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hands and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him.
Yeah, people that trust in our people that trust in this way, this American way, man.
Right.
They're gonna be pierced, man.
Because you have Jake, you know, you Israelites that's so dependent upon your system that Esau has, you know, whether it be his little government-funded programs, you know, because you have people of our nation that have been on them programs for generations, man. Yeah. You know, and they constantly see those programs as a way of them not them being secure, you know. That's like their foundation, you know. But in you trusting in them programs, it's gonna turn on you. Hey, cause soon Esau gonna make you take the chip from him, man. You know, for you to get food stamps, or for you to get housing, or for you to get. It's like
no.
Yeah, it's like go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it said that reed will pierce the hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you lean on something for support and don't even realize that it's hurting you. And eventually you're gonna fall and then you're just gonna pierce yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna be a victim, man.
Yeah. Because you've been leaning on it so long.
Yeah, your cut gonna get infected. You know, then it's gonna go to your heart and it's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
That's what this mark of the beast piercing is all about.
It's pierced.
It's gonna pierce you, just like because that's what you're gonna need to be able to continue to trust into this system, into this place.
Trump already making proposals. He's making budget cuts. He has a plan to basically take away a lot of government programs and aid for low-income Americans.
He get back in.
Yeah.
Look like he will.
He already tried to do that when he first got in with cutting Obamacare.
Yeah.
He was adamant about that, but they didn't do it. But
he's making those cuts so he can put even more billions of dollars, even trillions into the military. You can see that's his prime priority. You know, that's their major priority. They're gonna have to go to war soon.
Yeah, once this coronavirus get in full effect, the president can stay in office, man. because he gonna declare martial law. You know.
As Isaiah 31, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Rebellious children are you Israelites, man. All right, go ahead.
And that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Yeah, our people add sin to sin every day. Sin to sin. All right? Because you trust in Esau. Esau is the son of perdition, man. He's the man of sin, man. So if you follow him, he's gonna lead you to destruction, man. All right?
That walked to go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yep, that's his place, America, man. Egypt. All right? And all his philosophies that it pushes out. All right? You got Revelation 18.
He's back in Revelation 18 at 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Yep, all the kings of the other nations have committed fornication with the harlot, man, with Great Babylon. They taken on the petrodollar, all right, the American dollar, taking on the democracy and all that, man. All right, that's a part of committing that fornication. Right?
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Yep, right.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Yeah, that's when our Lord Yahushua come back with the angel, man. He's going to deliver his elect. All right? Yeah.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
The plagues of the thermonuclear missiles. Right?
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities.
Hey, from the inception of this place, man, all the sins has been stacked up, and the Lord gonna remember it, man. And he's gonna pay back this place with the missiles, man. All right? But even before the missiles, we're gonna be plagued, man.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double according unto her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
That's right. That's the mindset of these people, man. Of this place, man, America. I don't think they got enormously biased.
God.
All right. They think that nothing bad is gonna happen, man. Like this virus, Americans, it's over in China. It ain't coming over here.
People, it ain't coming over here.
Yeah, it's 14, 15 people. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, kind of, yeah. Enormously biased. Yeah. So any more on that?
Yeah. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth them.
Yeah, so judgment is coming. All right, the prophets out claiming the prophecies, the judgments from the Heavenly Father, and it's going to come to pass. All right, so pretty much it. All right, we're going to say how about Shabbat Shalom. All right, Barbara Ball.